The fitness world is changing, and what you'll probably see now is a lot less bodybuilder start, a lot more functional training. And right now, the idea of more athletic training has definitely become far more important, sought after, and the benefits are a bit more obvious. To train athletically means kind of changing your paradigm a bit. In the past, we just focused on this bodybuilding era, which a lot of us grew up with, especially if you're like me and you're around about your mid-30s now. All you saw were the bodybuilding days, men's fitness magazines, all this kind of stuff. And all it was saying were 12, 10 reps, 3 sets, how to get big. The focus was on lean mass, and that was it. And that was just the training objective, because that was how we measured everything. And we just measured by bulk, we measured by kilos, and that was it. So we've got this big shift now towards this functional athletic side. And that's really changing the styles of how we train. But what is athletic training? And how do you do it? And why should we be doing it? Why should we be doing it? Because bodybuilding days, like we've already talked about, it gave us lots of knowledge for building muscle, and muscle is important. And I think we should never neglect that. For me, I think muscle building is going to become this supplement within your sessions even. It's just not going to become the main course. It's going to become that extra part that goes in. Rather than spending hours on isolating, we're going to shift to moving and working on patterns of movement. And I'm not just talking about your big squats and your compound movements, these kind of base, simple movements that everyone can still do. We're actually going to see more patterns of movement with rotation. We're going to see bigger human patterns. Natural human patterns are going to be a big way forward. We're looking at throwing, crawling, jumping, carrying, potentially you could put swimming in there, like these kind of movements that we actually all do, and we do from the age of a child. But for some reason, after we get from school, we put the category of either you go into a sport, you stop training, or you just go to the gym. That's it. All these things we used to play with and used to experience on a day-to-day basis almost just got lost. So to train athletically isn't about being an athlete and being in crazy shape, but allowing our body to grow and mold and become something that it should do, which is have freedom of movement, less pain, feeling stronger in every direction, and feeling more confident in what you can do on a day-to-day basis. That means not staying in this rigid box of movement that is so prescriptive and doesn't allow a bit more freedom. Now, of course, that is going to come with a bit of foundation work. It does come with some structure, because if you don't have strength as the ultimate quality and foundation, then all the other movements are not going to feel that great. When we talk about strength, we just don't need maximal, super strong strength. We are also talking about just general movement, like understanding simple patterns of movement. A squat is still important, obviously. But before you go jumping around and leaping, maybe it's important to make sure you've got good mobility in your ankle. You've learnt to take load quickly. So we have progressions. So it's not just go into something 110% jumping, earthing your knees and throwing massive weights around and then realizing this isn't for me or this is too much. Don't let that daunt you. Everything we can approach and put in a really good way for you. So training athletically, what would be the difference between your old style and your new style of training? What would a session to session difference look like from training, let's call it gym bro style, into athletic training? Let's have a little look between the two and how would it change. If I was going to change a session, or typically how I would train now, is not only looking through a warm-up, but warm-up becomes extended and it makes into movement preparation. This is actually a really smart move, because you can put not only prep work that's going to power your main stuff, but also focus a little bit more on the mobility and movement. So priming the nervous system, getting the heart rate up. So we can look at pogo jumps. We can look at a bit of light crawl work or coil work with a band, just simply taking steps, learning how to move our spine better, priming our nervous system and how we move. This is going to start firing up straight away, rather than seeing people typically just stand there, rolling their shoulder and going, oh, I feel stiff today. It's like because they never move. So with athletic training, that then shifts. That's our movement prep. Then we might move into maybe might focus on power first. That's very typical, but still important. When you're doing fast, hard work, it's good to have the concentration for it. So it could be explosive. We could do traditional weight work. We could use the snatch. We could do throwing, like with a med ball, for example. We could use kettlebells, for example. I use kettlebells all the time because they are approachable and easy to do, but they have an offset weight. There's something about them that challenges the body in a way that I feel a barbell does not, or traditional training might not. So we could look at split jerks, snatch, we can look at throwing work. There's loads of things that we can put in for explosive work. Our strength work, we can now look at patterns of movement. So we can train throwing patterns, so how we do a coil and a drive and a throw. So we can look at throwing. We can look at broad jumps. Instead of putting sets into just doing squats, we can look at how we express our strength through movement. So how do you jump? Do your sets of jumping. Learn to start doing gentle plyometrics and advance your movement. You'll see the difference very quickly. Imagine dropping a bench press and focusing on fast, quick push-ups where you can change hands even. Maybe you can throw, just again, focus on the throwing, using your chest to move like this, like we do with most movement. It's locomotive, it's one-sided, it's sometimes even unpredictable. And there are ways to do this by building a good skills base, strength foundations, then start adding more natural patterns through crawling, carrying, throwing, jumping, okay? And then starting to put the lifts on as a supplement, more prescriptive work as a supplement to your training, okay? So that could look at, bicep curls. I put a rope around a kettlebell and then do bicep curls, and this actually is really effective both for grip, as it's a different style, and then it puts the weight here, more strength for the core. Biceps is supplementary, but it's important because you still need it for your training. Okay, you can still do your squat work. There's not saying it's not there, but it can't be the main course every time. So this is how we start to shift to training athletically and looking at more natural human-based movement rather than looking at the strict bodybuilder paradigm, which we are already dropping behind. Like CrossFit still has it. High Rocks is kind of changing that slightly. It's far more accessible and fun for everyone. There are loads of styles now changing that way. And I see that the future is becoming about patterns. It's becoming about natural movement, rhythm, dance, skills. That's what human movement really is. And we're slowly chipping away and building back into this more cohesive, holistic, athletic training. That doesn't mean you're an athlete. It just means you are naturally being athletic like a human should. So on your next session, why not try out trying to train more athletically and see where this takes you, see how the feeling is, feel how more complete the whole movements are. And if you've got questions and you want to start training athletically, drop me a DM or a message, comment, whatever you want to do, and I will get back to you and try and help push you in the right direction.